Welcome to The Edge. I'm joined by Steve Bittenbender, my friend and colleague at Gambling.com. Steve covers the states for Gambling.com and is the authoritative voice on what's happening legislatively and with sports betting and gaming news. Steve, two big events. We're coming up. We're college and NFL football are upon us. It's the big betting season with football. Two big things have happened. One, a big licensing event in Missouri, and two, FanDuel has entered the prediction markets, or is about to enter that. So if you would, Steve, let's go over those two big developments real quickly. Again, with football upon us, what happened in Missouri? Big surprise in that Las Vegas-based Circa Resort beat FanDuel in getting one of two untethered licenses.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely an upset in Missouri. And honestly, I think the Gaming Commission made the right choice there. Yes, from a revenue perspective, FanDuel and DraftKings are going to be number one and number two in Missouri. It's just a coin flip on which one is going to be number one, which one's going to be number two. And that's the way it is in nearly every state that has online sports betting in a competitive market. With Circa, I didn't even think Circa had a puncher's chance, to be honest with you. Just because they were going up against the two bigs, but Derek Stevens, to his credit, gave a very compelling argument. As he told me, he stayed true to Circa and its all-comers approach and made what the Gaming Commission felt was a compelling argument about bringing new people to the legal sports betting market, people that aren't there now, not just in Missouri, but in a lot of states. And I think, that was very refreshing to see from a regulator standpoint. Obviously, FanDuel and DraftKings were going to get in regardless. And we saw that, with FanDuel just a couple hours after the Gaming Commission's decision announcing its deal with St. Louis City from MLS. So, really, hats off to the Gaming Commission there in Missouri for, taking, an outside the box approach in awarding the licenses and, giving, credit to Circa for its argument on bringing in new bettors.
Yeah, Circa, Derek Stevens, dynamic figure, downtown Las Vegas. His resort opened in 2020, Circa Resort. First downtown, new construction, hotel casino in 40 years. He's one of those longtime Las Vegas type casino owners. He owns 3 in downtown Las Vegas, the Golden Gate, the D, and Circa. He's a hands-on guy. You can see him around. He kind of is like Benny Binion in that regard, the old Texas outlaw who had the horseshoe.
Yes.
Now it's called Binion's. His family doesn't own it. But, he's down there. He's meeting with people. He's a real dynamic personality, the largest sports book in the world is Circa. And as you noted, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Circa were up for those 2 untethered licenses. FanDuel's still in the game. As you said, Steve, they're with the MLS team in Missouri. Still on September 12th, other licenses will be awarded. Other applications are due. There are 13 casinos, I think 6 professional sports teams that you can partner with. So we'll see some more. You're absolutely right. Speaking of FanDuel, Steve, you on X, and by the way, if you're not following Steve on X, you're not staying up with what's going on with everything in the sports betting and gaming world. Steve is on top of everything. Steve tweeted something the other day about FanDuel now is entering the prediction markets field. Not just at first with sports, but you've got gold markets and financial markets that you can make a yes/no wager on. The whole genie is out of the bottle with these prediction markets. Steve, what's going on with FanDuel's partnership with the CME Group going forward?
Sure. First off, this was something that really came out of the blue. We knew that sports betting operators like FanDuel and DraftKings were looking into the prediction market, thanks to actions by Kalshi of late. And now Polymarket as well, which has announced that it's coming back into the U.S. after, being shown the door by the CFTC years ago. And it was something that we felt would happen here at some point. With Kalshi especially taking its lawsuit or taking lawsuits to the various states, Nevada, California, Maryland, for example, in trying to get them banned. In trying to get them banned, they still have made a significant dent. Kalshi still made a significant dent in the sports betting market by being this outsider that says it's federally regulated. The CFTC, under the Trump administration, is taking a hands-off approach. Of course, Kalshi is also being advised in some extent by Donald Trump Jr. So there's that you have to consider. And I think FanDuel read the room, and this partnership especially with someone of the status like CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is very eye opening, and I think is indicative of what's going to happen here. Maybe not necessarily now, but a year or whenever this is finally decided in the courts. And as FanDuel said, and as I mentioned in a subsequent tweet, FanDuel's not doing sports right now. They made no mention of sports in that in that deal with Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So you'll be able to do all other kinds of commodities, like gold, silver, things like that, cryptocurrency, but they didn't mention sports in there at all. And I think that's so that they don't upset the 24 or so state regulators that they're working with on a daily basis now. And those states rely a lot on the tax money that FanDuel provides them. So, it sets FanDuel up for what the future might be for U.S. sports betting. And, it also, I think, again, shows that, what we're probably going to see from the federal government, what we're probably going to see from the courts is that, Kalshi, that sports betting or trading on sports markets will be allowed, at least under the Trump administration. So you're going to probably see, within the next year or so, FanDuel do it. And then once FanDuel gets involved, then you'll see DraftKings, and then perhaps a few other of the sports betting operators. I know Alex Alex Gaines from Sport Trade has talked about getting into exchanges like that, which has been his vision since he's come on board or with his exchange idea, and there are a couple other exchanges out there. I think we're kind of seeing what the future is going to be like here in the next couple of years with what FanDuel announced yesterday.
Yeah, and you've got states like California, Texas, Oklahoma, almost half of the SEC states. There are 12 SEC states. Almost half of them, Georgia, the big ones, Texas, Oklahoma, don't have legal sports betting. California, where I am right now in Los Angeles, no legal sports betting. However, you know how disruptors are in any industry. We remember Borders Bookstore now because it didn't adapt and get a reader. So we'll see what the future holds. Steve Bittenbender, thank you so much for joining me on The Edge, and I want to thank you for joining us. I'm Larry Henry at Gambling.com.